Hi everyone. I'm here this evening to explain something that's been going on with me, and I haven't been able to do the video until now because I really didn't understand what was happening until now. Last night I had some pretty interesting stuff going on when I was sleeping. I described that in a post that I wrote on my website and then shared in my group and on the I think I shared it on my business page too. Anyhow, what I'm realizing now is something that I want to describe using an analogy of the magnets. Now, there's been some confusion in the past when I explained to people about the physical merging. Some people think that that means a sexual merging or the two twins coming together in the physical world, like they're physically together. And I'm going to use the magnets to explain what I believe is what happens. Okay, so as it's been explained to me before by someone who I'm just fascinated with their level of knowledge, when we first began talking about the merging process, she brought to my attention that we don't go through all of the stages of the twin flame merge one time, but we go through them once for each level from spiritual all the way down to physical. So the merging starts with the the merging starts with the spiritual level. Then it comes into mental, then emotion or emotional, then etheric, then physical. So my twin and I have been going through this beginning when we were 12, or perhaps even before we met. But we met in person for the first time when we were 12, at least that we both are aware of. And that's when we began to merge, starting with the spiritual level. So, with all that said, I'm going to now use the magnets as an example in order to explain how it goes down through each level. So, say you have two magnets and you have one in each hand, and they are not yet aware of each other. One is way over here and the other one is way over here, and they both exist, and they exist on opposite polarities, but they're not aware of each other, or they haven't come in to each other's proximity. They haven't come into each other's proximity close enough to where they begin to feel the pull. Okay, so that's a spiritual level. When they begin to enter into the mental level, this is where they begin to be aware of each other on a conscientious level. Now, how this correlates or corresponds with my twin and me is last year when we became aware of the connection in our conscious mind. So we were aware of each other as people long before this, and we began to merge on just the spiritual level. But until last year, we weren't aware that we had this special connection. We just knew that it was. We didn't begin to process it in our mental faculties. Okay, so as we became aware of it on a mental level and we began to feel the pull, we were then in each other's physical proximity to a point where the magnets could begin to literally attract each other or attract to each other. So when the magnets began to get closer and closer, there began to be an emotional pull. And this emotional pull, for me, I can't really describe how he felt about it, but for me, it caused a state of euphoria. It caused a state of exuberance, of joy, of bliss, excitement. And then, of course, as we began to get further and further into it and began the power struggle and all that, then the emotions weren't so positive. But that was the emotional merging. And then we've been going through all that, all this time that we've been experiencing each other's everything: pain, joy, sorrow, fear, confusion, anxiety, everything that you can imagine has been both of ours together. Okay, so finally, we began to merge on the etheric level, and that's when all of the craziness started, when it was all telepathic and energetic, and we were feeling each other's energy, touching each other. We could smell each other, we could taste each other, we could feel each other's breath. It was just absolutely incredible. Okay, so that's the etheric level, and that's what's been going on all this time until I moved here. Now, when I moved here and we saw each other for a couple days, it started to the process of the physical merge. Now, this is what I really wanted to get on tape, because I was getting ready to type all this out to someone on a Facebook message, and I'm like, instead of typing it all out, I'll just say it verbally and then I'll share it with everybody. Okay, so the magnets have been drawing towards each other all this time. They've been aware of each other. They've been feeling the magnetic pull. So this is where I want to use them to clear up the confusion about the difference between coming into each other's physical proximity and experiencing the merge on a physical level. Okay, so when the magnets get to a certain point, you can feel the pull between them. Okay, if you have one magnet in one hand and the other magnet in the other hand, and you're holding them really close together, even though they're not physically touching, you can still feel the pull in this hand and in this hand. So that's where my twin and I are right now. My twin and I are right now. We are not physically in each other's presence. He's probably about an hour away right now. But because of all of the work that we've been doing, he's been doing individually, and so have I, individually but together, we're to a point now where we can feel that pull happening within our physical bodies, even though we're physically not together. Now, I'm not sure how long that will take to actually manifest into the physical world. I have a feeling it's not going to be long, because once those magnets get to a certain point and they're feeling that, they really can't help but just smack together. And that is what I believe is about to happen. So, I hope that I explained this clearly, and I hope that it made some sense to you, or I hope that it resonates with you in some way. But if you want more clarification, if you have questions or comments or feedback, or a different way of explaining what I'm trying to explain, please feel free to add your input into it. I'd love to hear from you. So thanks everybody for watching, and I'll look forward to communicating again with you soon. Take care.